The phone call lasts 90 seconds. That is all you need to die. You are standing barefoot in a cramped apartment in Los Olivos, a middle-class neighborhood in Medellin, talking to your son for the last time. The electronic surveillance equipment tracking your signal has pinpointed your location to this very building. Outside, Colombian special forces are already surrounding the block, and you do not know it yet. But let us go back, way back, to the beginning. You are born on December 1st, 1949, in Rio Negro, a small town in the Antioquia region of Colombia. Your father is a farmer. Your mother is a school teacher. You are the third of 7 children, and the family lives in an adobe hut with no electricity, no running water. Some days, you and your brother are sent home from school because you have no shoes. The poverty is not romantic. It is simply the way things are. Your mother believes in education. She pushes you to study, to become something more than what your circumstances dictate. For a while, you try. You enroll in political science courses at the Universidad Autónoma Latinoamericana in Medellin. But you cannot pay the fees, and so you drop out. And that is when everything changes. You discover, quite young, that you have a talent, not for books or bureaucracy, for hustling, for finding the angle no one else sees. Your first schemes are small. You sell fake diplomas to students who need credentials but lack grades. You forge report cards. You smuggle stereo equipment across regional borders and sell it at a markup. None of this makes you rich, but it teaches you something fundamental. Rules are suggestions for people without imagination. Then you find the tombstones. Cemeteries, it turns out, are full of them. Graves abandoned by families who stopped paying for upkeep. You dig them up, sand down the inscriptions, and resell them to funeral homes as new. It is macabre. It is also profitable. Your brother later denies this story, but the legend sticks. By your early 20s, you have graduated to stealing cars, working as a bodyguard, and occasionally kidnapping people for ransom. In 1971, you kidnap a wealthy executive from Medellin named Diego Echevarria. The ransom is $50,000. You collect the money, then you kill him anyway. You are 21 years old, and you have already crossed a line that most people never approach. But none of this is what makes you rich. In the mid-1970s, Colombia becomes the crossroads of the global cocaine trade. The coca leaves grow in Peru, Bolivia, and Ecuador. The demand explodes in the United States, and you are standing right in the middle, watching the traffic flow, understanding the logistics. You learn the business from established smugglers, including a man named Alvaro Prieto. You pay attention. You study the routes. You identify the weaknesses. And then you build something of your own. In 1976, you are arrested for the first time on drug charges. Police find 39 kilograms of cocaine hidden in the spare tire of your car near Medellin. You bribe the second judge assigned to your case. The charges vanish. The agent who arrested you is killed the following year. This is the template. This is the formula. Silver or lead. Plata o plomo. You accept the bribe, or you accept the bullet. Most people accept the bribe. By 1976, you have founded what will become the Medellin cartel, alongside the Ochoa brothers and a man named Jose Gonzalo Rodriguez Gacha. You control the first true industrial-scale cocaine operation. The coca paste comes from the south. Your jungle labs process it into powder. Your pilots fly it north. And the money comes flooding back, more money than you ever imagined, more money than you can count. At its peak, your organization supplies more than 80% of the cocaine entering the United States. You are moving an estimated 15 tons per day. The revenue is approximately $420 million per week. Forbes magazine will later list you as the 7th richest person in the world with an estimated net worth of $25 billion. The money creates its own problems. You cannot deposit it in banks. You cannot invest it openly. So you bury it in fields. You stash it in warehouses. You lose roughly 10% annually to water damage and rats. Your brother, who serves as your accountant, spends $1,000 a week just on rubber bands to wrap the cash bundles. The absurdity of it is almost comic. You buy a 7,000-acre estate called Hacienda Nápoles for $63 million. You build artificial lakes, a private airstrip, a bullfighting arena. A complete zoo with hippopotamuses, giraffes, elephants, and camels smuggled in on your drug planes. You erect life-sized dinosaur statues around the property. At the front gate, you mount the Piper airplane you used on your first cocaine run to the United States. A monument to your own audacity. But you want more than money. You want legitimacy. In 1982, you run for Congress. You campaign as a man of the people, a Robin Hood figure who builds soccer fields and housing projects for the poor of Medellin. A magazine calls you the Robin Hood of Antioquia. You win a seat as an alternate member of the Chamber of Representatives, which grants you parliamentary immunity and a diplomatic passport. For a moment, it seems like the system might actually absorb you. You attend a state dinner. You are invited to Spain for the inauguration of President Felipe Gonzalez. You dream openly about becoming president of Colombia yourself someday. Then a single man destroys everything. His name is Rodrigo Lara Bonilla, and he is the Minister of Justice under President Belisario Betancourt. He stands up in Congress and denounces you by name. He calls you exactly what you are: a drug trafficker, a criminal, a poison in the bloodstream of the nation. No one has done this before. Not publicly, not so directly. Your congressional immunity is stripped. Your U.S. visa is revoked. Criminal charges are revived. Your political career is finished before it truly begins. And you are left with only the tool you have always trusted most. On April 30th, 1984, two men on a Yamaha motorcycle pull alongside Rodrigo Lara Bonilla's Mercedes-Benz in northern Bogotá. The passenger fires a MAC-10 submachine gun through the window. The minister is hit multiple times and dies almost instantly. He is 37 years old. Within days, you and your family have fled to Panama. The government responds by approving the extradition treaty with the United States. And this is the one thing you fear above all else. Not death, not prison in Colombia, but extradition to American courts where your money and your threats mean nothing. You declare war. You form an organization called Los Extraditables, whose motto is simple: we prefer a grave in Colombia to a prison cell in the United States. You begin systematically targeting anyone who supports extradition: judges, politicians, journalists, presidential candidates. On August 18, 1989, you have Luis Carlos Galán assassinated. He is the frontrunner for the presidency and the man who once expelled you from the Liberal Party. Gunmen open fire at a campaign rally in Soacha. He dies on stage in front of his supporters. 9 days later, you go further. On November 27, 1989, you plant a bomb on Avianca Flight 203, bound from Bogotá to Cali. Your target is Cesar Gaviria, who has taken up Galán's presidential campaign. A young man named Alberto Prieto carries the device onto the plane, believing it is simply a recording device. The bomb detonates 5 minutes after takeoff, at an altitude of 13,000 feet. All 107 people on board are killed, along with 3 people on the ground. Cesar Gaviria is not on the plane. He canceled his reservation at the last minute. You have murdered over 100 innocent people for nothing. 2 of the dead are American citizens, which brings the full attention of the United States government onto you personally. You do not care. 9 days after the airplane, you bomb the DAS building in Bogotá, the headquarters of Colombia's intelligence service. 63 more dead. Cesar Gaviria wins the presidency anyway. The pressure becomes unbearable. Your allies are being extradited, your properties are being raided, your family is in constant danger. A rival cartel in Cali is funding attacks against you. The Colombian government, the American DEA, and your own former associates all want you dead. So you make a deal. In June of 1991, you surrender to Colombian authorities on the same day that Congress votes to ban extradition in the new constitution. You agree to serve 5 years in prison. But the prison will be one you design and build yourself, high in the mountains above Medellin. You call it La Catedral? The Cathedral. It is a prison in name only. The facility includes a soccer field, a jacuzzi, a waterfall, a bar, a giant dollhouse for your daughter, telephones, computers, and fax machines. You bring in women. You throw parties. You continue running your empire without interruption. The guards are on your payroll. The military is not allowed within a certain radius. You are safer here than you have ever been on the outside. For 13 months, you live like a king in your mountain fortress. Then you make a mistake. You bring two of your own cartel members, Fernando Galeano and Gerardo Moncada, to La Catedral. You accuse them of skimming from shipments. You torture them. You kill them. And this time, the government cannot look away. On July 22, 1992, Colombian authorities attempt to transfer you to a standard prison. But you have been warned. You walk out into the night, disappearing into the mountains behind your cathedral, and you are gone. For 16 months, you are the most hunted man on earth. The Search Block, a special Colombian police unit, is hunting you with support from American Delta Force operators, Navy SEALs, the DEA, and the CIA. You move constantly, never staying in one safe house for more than 2 nights. You cannot speak on the phone for more than 3 minutes. There is a $6 million bounty on your head. And then there are Los Pepes, people persecuted by Pablo Escobar, a vigilante group funded by the Cali cartel and composed of your enemies, former allies, and paramilitaries. They are not bound by law. They kill your lawyers, your accountants, your family members. They bomb your properties. In a single year, they murder over 300 people connected to you. Your empire is collapsing. Your money is running out. Your support network is disintegrating. On December 1st, 1993, you turn 44 years old. You celebrate quietly in your hiding place, reportedly with cake, wine, and marijuana. Your wife and children have fled to Germany. You are alone except for a single bodyguard named Limon. The next day, you call your son in Germany. You talk for 90 seconds, maybe a little longer. Long enough for the electronic surveillance equipment to triangulate your location to a 2-story house in the Los Olivos neighborhood of Medellin. Colombian special forces surround the building. They storm the entrance. You and Limon climb out a window onto the roof, attempting to escape the way you have escaped so many times before. But there is nowhere to go. You are hit in the leg, then the torso, then behind the right ear. You fall on the terracotta tiles, barefoot, bleeding, and still holding a pistol you never managed to fire. Limon dies beside you. The police take photographs of your body, posing above you in triumph. These images will circulate around the world. You are 44 years old. You have been dead for less than a day when the Medellin cartel begins to collapse. Within months, it ceases to exist. Your funeral is attended by over 25,000 people from the poorest neighborhoods of Medellin. They weep for you. They call you a hero. They remember the soccer fields and the houses you built. They forget, or choose to forget, the thousands of corpses you left behind. Your wife and children eventually find asylum in Argentina under false names. Your son changes his identity entirely, becomes Sebastian Marroquin, and spends the rest of his life trying to make amends for sins he did not commit. Your hippos, abandoned at Hacienda Nápoles, begin to breed. By the 2020s, there are over 150 of them, spread across the Magdalena River Basin, the largest invasive species Colombia has ever seen. They are your strangest legacy, a menagerie that outlived your empire, and the cocaine keeps flowing. After you, the Cali cartel takes over. After them, other organizations. The demand never stops. The violence never stops. You did not create the drug trade. You simply industrialized it, made it efficient, made it impossible to ignore. You wanted to be remembered. You are, as a monster, as a folk hero, as a cautionary tale, as a brand name for Netflix shows and rapper lyrics and tourist attractions. But here, at the end, you are just a man on a rooftop, barefoot, cornered, 90 seconds from silence. The phone call cost you everything. If you watched until here, don't forget to leave your like and comment down below where you're watching from. Your support makes all the difference for us. Subscribe to the channel and check out the next video on your screen. I'm sure you're going to enjoy it.